YouTube, it's that time again for another Airsoft review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Colt M1911 World War II model. I'll get into the gun, but I do want to start with the fact that this gun is broken. So I'm not going to be able to do a actual fire test, but I still know enough about the gun to where I can provide an accurate description. Now, first thing off the bat, which is important to everybody, is that the entire frame is metal. Metal internals, all that. Except this, it's plastic, but, when you got all this being metal, I'm pretty sure that this isn't really going to deter you from making this purchase. However, there is one thing that I'd like to say that I learned from this gun, is that metal does not mean stability. This gun broke when I dropped it from about, I want to say stomach height, a bit lower, about hip level. Hip level is where about I dropped this thing, and it completely broke. Never worked again. And it was just after I got through replacing a clip for this thing, which costs $40 to replace. So if I were you, I would think more about a more modern weapon. Unless you're a fan of the classics, this is a good gun for you. It shoots with about 335 to 340 FPS. The accuracy, it's not terrible. It is CO2 powered. And what I like about this is that it is CO2 powered. So as you can see in the mag here, it's got a little space there for the CO2. It just slides right up in there. However, it is incredibly easy for CO2 to leak out of this thing. It's happened to me numerous times. I pretty much could only use the CO2 from Airsplat, because any other CO2 is a bit more tough and causes it to mess up more. So, unfortunately, I still got a perfectly functioning magazine, but a non-functioning gun. Since it is blowback and all, it does, stay back, which is very useful. So that way you're not just pumping rounds. That's what it means. It is right-handed, so if you're right-handed, I would recommend this gun. As you can see, you've got the safety, the release, the clip release, all that just on the right-hand side. If you look closely, you'll also notice that this side is thinner than this side with the plastic. That's meant to compensate for the hand reaching around, so it has a better feel. And it does have an amazing feel in the hand. Don't get me wrong, I love the feel of this handle. And on top of that, you have a secondary safety. This little thing right here, you don't have to put really any pressure on it. You can just really lay it back, and you can tell that that's already ready to fire. So you don't have to worry about gripping it hard or anything like that. It is cock. You pull it back, but, mine's busted, so it won't work. It does not have these scratch marks on it. I just made them back when it worked. I wanted to keep track of how many people I got out with this, just because it's kind of my thing. Keeping tabs, and it does have all of the official markings and all that, and the paint will scrape just through regular use. You can see right there at the end of the barrel, and that's just from it sliding. Same thing with the inner barrel. So it will do that, but that is actually not an uncommon thing with this pistol. So if that's something that bothers you, don't get this gun. But if you don't really care, I would recommend it if you're a fan of the classics. It is able to be field stripped. I'm going to get into that right now. So you go ahead, make sure that the clip is out, otherwise it will not work. You want to pull it all the way to the groove right here. And on the other side, there's a little button thingy that you push while it is lined up. That then pops out. hard to operate with gloves. Anyways, with the field stripping. Okay. That baby's out. And now your slide comes off. You got the handle here, which is unfortunately the part that broke. So, you know, it's not like I can replace anything that was in this. I don't know what went wrong with it, but it just did. So, you have your slide. And I'm going to take off the gloves for this next part because it is really tricky. From here, I'm going to go ahead and push down and twist here, causing this to come off. Then this part I would say is the hardest. You have to kind of pull this down. And on the back, there's a little disc that you have to... Oh, okay, this isn't working. Pull that down, and there's a little disc part that comes up. And this is the hardest because if you let it go, this spring will go flying, and it will also bend very easily. So just, you know, keep that in mind as you're taking this baby apart. Next is the upper spring. Fairly easy. And then you have the barrel. And now you've got your hollow shell, which I think is pretty neat that you can get it down to just that. I mean, there is still this, but I wouldn't really count it. And now just put it back together. Oh. Another neat little feature, though, is that you can customize it. So, like, let's say you wanted to have the silver barrel, like more of the classic style. You have that option if you want to rub it down or sand it down. Or however you do, you can do that. So, you know, you just slide everything back in together. It's not that hard once you get used to it. I've gotten to where I can do it blindfolded. Just because, I mean, I really love this style of weapon, but it is not the best. If you do tend to have problems with your guns, like you're in a situation where it could get whacked or hit or anything like that, then I would... Oh, you gotta be kidding. See what I mean? Locked up. Son of a bitch. Great. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it out here. It will not do that, you know. It's not like it's gonna lock up like that normally. Again, I did drop mine. So if you are in any situation where your gun could get whacked or anything due to its incredible length, it is not as stable or secure. So that's why I'm switching over to a Glock model APS ACP. That's not a Glock, but look, people, it is. Anyway, I digress. This pistol, it's good. It's good for classic lovers like myself, but not good for people who are probably going to drop it or get it whacked, like myself. So all in all, this gun, it's not terrible, but again, I cannot stress this enough. It is long, so it is not durable. If you drop it, even once, it will break, and there will not be anything that you may be able to send it back. I don't know. I haven't bothered to try. You might be able to send it to Airsoft and they'll fix it, but I really don't know. So, yeah, that's my review. It was $90. $90 frickin' dollars down the drain. So, that's my review. I'm Apocalyptic Survivor, and clearly, I'm out.